G'day everyone, welcome to our lower back flow. Today if you've got a yoga block handy, that's awesome. If you don't stress. We're just going to start on our backs, our feet out hip distance apart and our knees lent into each other. Hands on your belly, and we're just going to take a few relaxing breaths in and out here. And just really take this time to relax, let your body relax, your lower back relax into the mat. And yeah, we'll gear up for this flow. So nice deep breaths in and out. Just really relaxing into it. One more breath, and we're going to hug our knees into our chest. Side to side, rock side to side if you like. Couple breaths there. Back and forth a little bit, whatever feels good. We're going to start with our hands on our knees, arms straight. And we're going to start with some little circles with the knees. So we're going to bring the knees out to the side. Then bring them towards our body and straighten the arms again. Out to the side, in towards the body, straighten out the arms again. Going to go through this a couple of times. Set your own pace. Really good to help unlock the hips. Start to unlock the lower back a little bit. Couple more. Get a little wider as you do it. Should start to loosen up a little bit. We're going to come back to straight arms. We're going to go the opposite direction now. So we're going to pull the knees in towards our chest and then take them out wide. Nice wide circle, back to straight arms. In towards the chest, knees out wide, big circles, back to the top, straight arms. Again, go through this a few times. Remember to keep breathing. Should really start to feel a little bit looser. Should feel really good in the hips. I know it does with my hips and my lower back there, where I get jammed up. We're going to plant the feet on the ground. We're going to kick our right leg straight up in the air, left leg bent. You can bend your right knee a little bit. And then we're going to grab behind the hamstring if you like. We're going to pull the leg towards our body for our hamstring stretch. A little bit more, you can grab up towards your calf and just pull that towards you. And if you're after even more of a stretch, you can straighten out that left leg and pull that right leg towards your body. Make sure you're pulling the toes towards you, keeping that leg engaged. And do whatever feels good. I like to turn my leg side to side. Feels really good through your hamstring. Deep breaths in and out here. Leg engaged. Should feel a nice stretch up the hamstring, back of the calf. Just feel it start to release a little bit. We're going to bring the left leg back up to bent if you had it out straight. We're going to plant our right ankle on top of that left knee, and we're just going to push the right knee away If that feels like enough of a stretch there, stay there. More than welcome to stay there. If you after a bit more of a stretch, you're going to grab behind the hamstring or behind the knee of the left knee, that is, and dig our right elbow into that right knee, push the knee out and pull the left leg towards our body, making sure that right foot is flexed, keeping the leg engaged to protect the knee. And if you'd like even more of a stretch from that, if you're a bit more advanced, you can grab around the front of your shin, the front of your knee there, and pull that in towards your body. This should feel really good through your right hip. And your sort of right arse cheek. Be pretty intense. So just make sure you take whatever variation you need. Don't try and push it too much. Rock side to side. More breaths there. We're going to come out of that, we're going to plant that left foot down. Right foot down next to the left. Hands down beside us. We'll lift our hips up slightly. Move them over towards the right side of the mat. Bring our knees up, legs into a tabletop. We're going to drop them over towards the left side. Right hand reaching out, looking over our right shoulder for a twist. We want to make sure our shoulder blades are planted into the ground. A few nice deep breaths there. Remember to breathe. Come up out of that. Sending yourself back on your mat. Hug your legs in. Hug your knees in, towards your chest. Roll it out a little bit. We're going to drop that right foot down to the ground. Shoot that left leg up straight in the air. We're going to do the other side now. You can grab behind the hamstring, pull the leg towards your body. If you're after a little bit more of a stretch, you can grab up behind the calf, or above the calf, pull that in towards your body. And again, if you want even more of a stretch, straighten that right leg out. I like to turn my leg inside and out for a little bit more of a stretch. Make sure those toes are pulled back towards you, keeping that leg engaged. It should feel really nice stretch down the back of that left leg through your hammies. Should really start to loosen up now. That for a little bit longer. We're going to bring our right leg up if it was straight. We're going to plant that left foot, or left ankle, on top of the right knee. And again, push it away. For some of you, this is going to be more than enough. Stay there. And then if you're after a bit more advanced stretch, we'll grab behind that right hamstring or behind the right knee. Dig that left elbow into the left knee and pull the right knee towards us. And again, like the other side, if you want a bit more, you can grab around the front of the leg, just below the knee. Pull it in nice and tight. Little rock side to side. Should feel a pretty nice stretch there. Through that left hip. Rock it out, side to side. I'm going to come out of that. Plant the feet down. I'm going to lift the hips up slightly again. Move them over towards the left side of the mat this time. Knees up to tabletop. We're going to drop them over to the right. Throw that left arm out and look over that left shoulder. Shoulder blades are planted into the mat. Take some nice deep breaths there, really let that lower back relax. deep breaths. Bring the legs back up. Send yourself on your mat again. Pull your knees in towards you. Little roll around. We're going to grab our block if you got one. If you don't have one, we're just going to pretend like you have one. We're going to put it in between our knees, just above our knees. We're going to bring our legs up to tabletop. Flex the feet. Legs engaged. Cores engaged. Lower back's pushing into the mat. We're going to bring our shoulder blades up and our hands up beside our legs. We're going to go into some ankle taps. You want to make sure your shoulder blades are just off the mat. Cores engaged. Lower back's pressing into the mat. And we're going to reach out and tap our right ankle and our left ankle. Right, left, right, left. Remember to breathe. Make sure that core's engaged, legs are engaged. If you don't have a block, you want to make sure your legs are nice and engaged. Pretend like there's a block there and you're squeezing it together. Right, left. Remember to breathe here. Feet are flexed, legs are engaged, core's engaged. Couple more there. Last couple. Right, left. We're going to drop the feet down, drop the head back down. Shuffle our feet in. You want to be able to just brush the back of your heels with your fingertips, keeping that block in between your legs. We're going to sit up and then we're going to push up into our bridge. Make sure the legs are engaged, the inner thighs are pulling towards each other. Glutes are slightly engaged, core's engaged. And if you'd like a little bit more of a stretch, as you can see here, I'm shuffling my shoulders underneath and clasping my hands together underneath my body. Only if you feel like you can do that. Just going to hold this for a few breaths. Core's nice and engaged. Legs are engaged, glutes are engaged. Just going to hold that for a few breaths. And one more, and we're going to slowly release down. Roll your spine down to flat. Ditch the yoga block if you had one. Alright, and then we're going to grab our knees, hands on knees. We're going to slowly start to rock ourselves up to sitting. Rock back and forth, massaging out the spine. That's it. And we're going to rock up to sitting. Just our legs. And shoot our legs back. Hands out in front of us. We're going to come into a downward dog. So your hands just outside of shoulder width. Fingers spread out nicely. You can have your knees slightly bent. Take a few breaths there. And then we're going to bend our knees and drop our tummy towards our thighs. Lift our heels. And hold that for a breath. And then we're going to straighten out the legs as straight as you can. We're going to bend the knees again, lift the heels, tummy to thighs. And slowly straighten out the legs again. Really stretching out the back of those legs. Bend your knees, lift your heels. Plant it down through the hands. And then stretch, straighten out those legs. Alright. Really starting to stretch the back of those legs out. Then we're going to come up into our plank. And you want to make sure your core's engaged, you're pushing through your hands and your shoulders. We're going to take a look at where your hands are, and then we're going to drop down onto our forearms for our forearm plank. And you don't want to be dropping in and dropping your belly down. You want to be nice and strong through the core, legs are engaged, and you're pushing your shoulder blades away. So you're sort of pushing your arms away. Have your hands crossed or your arms straight out in front. Nice deep breaths there. Get the core burning a little bit. And then we're going to drop our hips down towards the ground for what they call a sphinx pose. So our elbows are stacked underneath our shoulders, our hands are straight out in front, gaze comes up, and we're going to engage the legs by pushing our feet, tops of our feet into the ground. And you sort of want to kind of feel like you're pulling your elbows back towards your body. You want to gaze forward, chest up. We're going to drop the head down towards the mat, hands underneath shoulders, and then we're going to push up. A nice back extension there. Come back down. Then we're going to push ourselves up into a tabletop position here. Make sure your wrists are stacked underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Nice neutral spine. And we're going to go through some cat cows now. When you're ready, have a deep breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to push through the hands, round through the spine, drop the head, chin to chest, tuck the pelvis underneath you. I'm just going to hold that for a little bit there. A few breaths in and out. Really feel that lower back starting to stretch out all the way through the mid and upper back. Hold that for a few more breaths. Then on your next inhale, we're going to lift the gaze, drop the belly down, arch the back. Exhale, round through the back, push through the hands, drop the chin to chest, pelvis underneath you. And inhale, drop the belly, arch the back, gaze comes up. Exhale, round through the back. Just going to go through this a few times at your own pace. Big inhale, in the gaze, making sure when you round through your back, you tuck that pelvis underneath you, chin to chest. Then we're going to come back to a neutral spine. Make sure you're all set up. And we're going to kick our right leg back, and we're going to exhale and bring the right knee and ankle parallel behind our wrists. We're going to push that back leg, left leg out straight behind us for our pigeon pose. So this is a pretty intense stretch. So if you're coming into this full pigeon pose here, you want to take a quick check behind you, make sure your back leg's straight behind you. And if that's too much, we've got the variation here. It's the 90-90. You can see I have that back left leg 90 degrees there, and the front leg's still in the same position. Get that 90-90. It'll just be a little bit easier on your hips, your hip flexors and your lower back. If you're okay to go full pigeon like I am, feel free. Make sure your chest is up, the back leg's engaged, you're on your fingertips, gaze forward. Really feel a deep, deep stretch through that left hip flexor and that right hip. And you'll find when we get over to the other side, that both sides will feel a little different. This is my good side. So the opposite side is I'm not as flexible. Just take a few breaths there. whatever position you're in. Then you can walk the hands forward, coming into sleeping swan as they call it. Drop the head down towards your hands. Just really relax the body into the stretch. A few nice deep breaths in and out here. Just let the body sink in and relax. Tight muscles starting to relax. Hip flexor, hip. A few more deep breaths here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. We're going to come back up. We're going to tuck the back toes. We're going to plant our hands down and kick that right leg back to meet our left. We're going to come up into downward dog position. Relax that out. Knees slightly bent. We're going to bring that right leg up between our hands, plant it between our hands. For our low lunge, drop that back knee down. Keep your hands beside your leg, your front leg. Make sure you're nice and stable. When you've got a good foundation, we're going to come up, hands on hips. Make sure your pelvis is tucked and your core is engaged. And you can kind of lean into that, really stretch out that hip flexor. Nice deep breath there, gaze forward, chest up. Then we're going to plant our left hand down beside that front foot, shoot our right arm straight up, looking up at the right hand for a side body twist. Make sure your shoulders are stacked. You don't want to be dumping all your weight into that left shoulder. You sort of want to have your core engaged still, the back leg's slightly engaged, front leg's strong. Then we're going to frame that front foot, wiggle him out a little bit, and we're going to straighten that leg. We're going to lean back over the back leg for a half split. It's pretty intense. Should be nice and warmed up now. You're going to pull your toes back towards your body, making sure that right leg is engaged. You're up on your fingertips. Chest is up, gaze is forward. Should feel that all the way from your hamstring all the way down through the back of your calf. Keep breathing here. We're going to push out of that and lean into that front right leg again. Hands planted. I'm going to bring our hands straight up. Hands together, bring them prayer position down through heart center. Then we're going to twist our left elbow and plant it on the right outside of the right knee. Sorry, getting a little confused here. For our twist there, I like to look down, keep my balance. If you want a bit more of an advanced, you can tuck the back toes and lift that back leg there. For our side body twist, lunge. Make sure the shoulders are stacked. I'm going to come out of that, frame that front foot, pick the back knee up if it wasn't already, and shoot that right leg back to meet our left, and come up into downward dog position. Pedal it out if you like, do whatever feels good, rock side to side, move your hips around. Then we're going to come back to nice downward dog. I'm going to drop down to our knees, tabletop position. We're going to reset ourselves, stacked above our wrists. hips stacked above our knees. We're going to shoot the left leg out. We're going to do the other side now. Nice and strong. Bring that left knee behind your left wrist, left ankle behind your right wrist. Coming into that pigeon pose again. Shoot that right leg straight back. If you're going full pigeon like me, you can make sure you turn around. Make sure that leg's straight behind you. It's engaged. Front leg's at a 90 degree. Up on your fingertips. Chest is up. Core slightly engaged. Back leg's engaged. Looking straight forward. And again, if the full pigeon is too much, which it will be for a lot of people, you've got that 90-90 option on this side as well. And if you are going the full pigeon and you're still struggling a little bit, you can also chuck a yoga block under that left glute just to bring you up off the ground a little bit, make it a little bit easier. Take a few deep breaths there. Chest is nice and proud. Gaze forward, up on the fingertips. The back leg straight behind us. Start to relax into it. If you like, walk the hands forward again for the sleeping swan position. Rest your head down. Really try to breathe here and let your body relax into the position. You should feel really good on your right hip flexor and your left hip. Great opener. I love doing the pigeon position. I've got pretty crook hip flexors and hips, so nice deep breaths there. Really relax into it. And when you're ready, you're slowly kind of gonna come up. Plant your hands, tuck their back toes, shoot your left leg back to meet your right. And come back up into our downward dog again. Do whatever you need to, whatever feels good. Pedal it out. Sway your hips side to side. Readjust yourself, get in the right position. And we're going to meet in a nice standard downward dog. We're going to lift that left leg, bring it forward and plant it between our hands. Framing that front foot, drop the back right knee down. Staying on the fingertips, making sure your foundation's strong before coming up hands on hips to our low lunge. Make sure the pelvis is tucked underneath us. Core slightly engaged. Front leg strong. You can lean into that stretch as you need, stretching at that right hip flexor. Nice deep breaths there. We're going to plant the right hand down beside the left foot. Shoot the left hand straight up. Shoulders stacked, looking up at the left hand. Make sure you don't dump all your weight into the right shoulder. Lean into that stretch a little more if you like. Make sure everything's stacked nicely. I'm going to frame that front foot again. Wiggle him out. Then we're going to straighten that left leg. Lean back over the right. Up on our fingertips, chest out. Left foot pulled back and engage the leg for our half splits. Feeling that deep stretch down the back of our legs, through our hamstrings, through our calves. That left leg is still engaged. Pulling the toes back. Hips are nice and square. Nice deep breaths there, in and out through the nose. And slowly come on up out of that. Frame that front foot again. And fingertips. When you get a solid foundation, we're going to shoot our arms straight up in the air. Bring them down prayer position. We're going to hook that right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Another side twist. Shoulders stacked. If you want a bit more of a challenge, you can tuck the back toes, lift that back leg up. For our twisted up lunge position. I like to look down, it helps me keep my balance, but you're more than welcome to look straight up. I'm going to come out of that, frame that front foot, lift the back leg if it's not already, and we're going to shoot that left leg back to meet the right. Plank position, we're going to push up into our downward dog, and again, pedal it out, do whatever you need to do, it feels good. We're going to come down onto all fours. We're going to find a nice comfy seat. Cross your legs. Fix your shirt up. We're going to do some side body stretches here. We're going to bring our hands straight up above our heads. As you exhale, you drop your left hand down towards the mat, reaching that right hand over. Giving your right bicep to your right ear, making sure your sit bones are planted to the mat. Feel a nice stretch through the side body. If you want a little bit more, you can drop that left elbow towards the mat. Make sure your sit bones are planted in the mat. A few breaths in and out there. On your next inhale, bring yourself up, hands straight above. We're going to go left hand to right knee, plant the right hand behind us for a twist. Sure your shoulders are relaxed, head and neck's relaxed, and you're twisting through the mid back. Come out of that, straight hands straight up above us. Do the other side, drop the right hand down towards the mat, reach the left hand over, left bicep to left ear. Make sure the sit bones are planted to the mat. Drop that right elbow to the mat if you want a little bit more. Remembering to breathe here. Your next inhale, bring yourself up, hands above our heads, and right hand to left knee, plant that left hand just behind us, look over our left shoulder. A few breaths here, relax head and neck and shoulders, twisting all through the mid-spine. Then we're going to come out of that. Hands on your knees. Close your eyes down if you want. Just a couple deep breaths in, through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Awesome job today, guys. Thanks for joining me on this little back release session, and we hope to see you next time.